Hello everyone, welcome back to CSC 151. At the end of the last video, I said that the next video would be about the and or operands. I forgot about else, if, and else. So, let's talk about else and else if for a moment. So, what I have right here from leftover from the previous video of code is one chain of logic, okay? An if statement will not give you all correct answers, it will give you the first correct answer. So even if this is true, right here, because this part was false, it skipped everything that was inside of it. So this true answer right here, even though it's true, never wound up happening. Okay? So, I mean, heck, this entire thing won't be happening, because the first thing I have here is greater than 55, and 7 is not greater than 55, even though this x equals 7 is. So, this is all one chain of logic here, okay? And if I get out of it, like that, now I have two chains of logic, one here and one here. And now you'll see that the equals 7 is true, and it will wind up printing out what I need to say. So that's how that works. Now, we don't even have to nest things, though. We can use what's known as ElifElse. So, if I want to have multiple questions in a row, I can ask it. So, let me go and say, if x is greater than, parentheses, if x is greater than 55, I'll still use my senior thing right as I thought about it. Print out, you are a senior. And I could do something like this and say if, and then I say if x is greater than 18, I can have it say, print, you are an adult. And I can also have this say, if x is greater than 12, I can have it say, print, you are a teen. There we go. Thank you for telling me that's not the correct spelling. And I'll have another if, and I'll say if x is greater than... when do you count someone no longer being a toddler? 3? 4? Okay, if it's greater than 4... Yeah, I'll say 4. I'll say print, you are a kid. And I'll have another if statement, if x is greater than 1, I'll put the print that says you are a toddler, and I'll have another if statement that says, if x is greater than -1, I'll print out, you are a baby. Okay, so if x is 7, we know that this is going to be false. It'll be skipped. This will be false. This will be false. This one right here will be true. It'll say you are a kid. But here's our problem. It's also going to recognize that this individual logic chain is also true, and it'll print you are a toddler. And this right here is also true, and it'll print you are a baby. So this 7-year-old is is a kid, a toddler, and a baby all at the same time, according to this code. And you're probably thinking, well, why don't I nest it? Why don't I nest it? Nesting will fix this, right? Well, here's the thing. It's still going to give me the same results, because this is still true. It'll still go here. And it reaches it because this part up above it is also true. So no, nesting this will still give us the exact same error. So let me undo that. So what we do instead is we'll use what's known as ElifElse, okay? ElifElse stands for else if. So right now I have 1 logic chain, 2 logic chain, 3 logic chain, 4 logic chain, 5 logic chain, 6 logic chains. But if I use a ElIf, it's going to attach it to the previous chain. And I'll do another ElIf, and I'll do another ElIf, and I'll do another ElIf, and another ElIf. So now, this first if statement starts my chain of logic. And if this is false, and only if this is false, it'll move down to check this one. And only if this one's false will it move down and check this one. It'll treat it like one logic chain. And I get the answer, you are a kid. Even though this is true and this is true, remember, an if statement will only find the first correct answer. So, even though this is true and this is true, this right here is my first correct answer. So it will skip everything else. So this is being treated as one logic chain, because these ElIfs are not a start of a new chain, they are just a continuation of the previous one. And that's how ElIf works. Now, the way ElIf works is like that. The way else works is literally anything else. So I don't need to have any sort of thing right there and say else, and I'll just say you are something else. So right now my thing is, if x is greater than 55, you are a senior. Else. Else is literally anything else. Doesn't matter. If it's 7, it's something else. If I say it's, negative that much, if I say it's negative, that much, it's still something else. If I say x is equal to banana, it's still something else. Oh no, it'll say you're a senior. Interesting. So what I think happened there is I think the number 55 is at a different slot than the letter C. I think that's what's happening here. So let me just go and say, quote, 55, just to make this a string. Quote 2. Okay. I bet you what happened is if the... To explain what's going on behind the scenes in a computer, I want you to imagine an Excel spreadsheet. And every single possible character, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that much, and then, exclamation mark, ampersand, every single possible symbol you can have, and every single letter, every single uppercase letter, spaces, any sort of symbol you want, is all representing a slot in your computer. And I bet you the slot for C happens to be a higher slot up on the list than the slot for 5, which is why it's saying I'm a senior. And that's why I'm getting this error right here of doing this. But of course, once I switch it back to like a 4 or something, you're something else. The point being is that else is literally anything else. Any other result than the ones that you've counted upon. So, if I had, let me just back up here, boop, 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 there we go. So instead of saying ElIf, if I just put else, it'll just go, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. Well, if none of these are true, you're something else. And I'm going to just do that. So even if I have, negative, a number that makes no sense whatsoever, it's still something else. Ergo, it's a baby. Because that's what the print statement was that was there. Now, I would recommend using else in something where it's like, hey, a login program, and if you enter your password correctly, you get in. But if you enter anything else, doesn't matter. We're not going to take into consideration the 700 bajillion possible ways they could have typoed. As long as there's something else. I'm sorry, you typed your password incorrectly. Please try again. That would be a situation for else. So, that's how that winds up working. And that's that's else and else if. I have and or on the mind. The next video will be on the and or operands. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.